I'm so happy you're here today. We're going to be making the fold back pop-up card. Such a fun interactive card. So there's a pop-up here in the center, which you can see right here. And I'm using the pale papaya on this version. And then I also made a fresh freesia version. And then I'll give you a sneak peek of these two as well. Hi Stampers, this is Dawn, and today we're going to be making the fold back pop-up card. These cards are so much fun. This is the card that I had my glitter queens make at our retreat this past weekend, and the little pop-up right here, isn't that cute? So when the card is opened and it's sitting up, it looks like this from the front. Isn't it adorable? And you have the 3 sheep, which is actually perfect for this type of card. And then here's the fresh freesia version. Here's the pop-up piece. So cute. And like I said, we're going to make another in color. We're going to make the polished pink one today. And then here's the pop-up one with the spiders with the Halloween version. This was the very first one that I made. You're so sweet, it's scary. I put bats and the black cat there. And then here's the pop-up with the cute little fox. Now this is from the Penguin Playmates, I believe. That's the designer paper that you can get free right now with the celebration. And this is the strips and the corners are also from that pack of paper. But the fox and the polar bear, well, the penguins are too, but I punched the penguin out with the punch. And then the fox and the polar bear I just hand cut out, which were pretty easy to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be making the polished pink version. Okay, so here's the pieces. We're going to start with the base. We're going to actually score this piece as well together. So this piece is the polished pink, and this is cut at 5.5 by 8.5. And then you're going to need 3 pieces of the polished pink designer paper. This is in the In Color collection. This is our newest colors. And these 3 strips are cut at 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. Then you have another piece of the designer paper cut at 2 by 2. And then the pink, or the polished pink cardstock, you're going to need 2 squares cut at 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then 2 basic white cut at 2.5 by 2.5. And then 2 more polished pink squares cut at 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. And then the basic white by 1.5 by 1.5. And those are 2 for those, for the squares. And then I went ahead and die cut out the fence and the balloon with the die, and then I went ahead and stamped the sheep, and I'll show you those here. This is the Counting Sheep stamp set and the sheep dies. You can get these free with the $50 order, or spend $100 and you can get both of them for free. But these are only available until September 30th during celebration time. All right, so let's grab our paper trimmer. Okay, so with the 8.5 inch side across the top, we're going to score this at 2 1/8. Remember, you're going to score, not cut. So 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. Now, if you didn't want to score this, you could just fold your card in half, right? And then you could take the front piece and fold it back on itself. But once you score it, it breaks down the card fibers, so it's a little bit easier to fold. And then you're going to grab your bone folder and burnish those score lines. So let's grab that. Okay, so the card, once you fold it, will be like a Z fold card. So it reminds you of a Z. Okay? All right, now we're just going to go ahead and use our liquid glue, our multi-purpose liquid glue. And we're going to glue our designer paper strips onto the base of the card. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so we got all our designer paper on for our 3 panels. Now we're going to grab our trimmer again. We're going to do some more cutting and some more scoring. Okay, so on your 2 by 2 piece of designer paper, we're going to cut this in half at a diagonal. So from point to point, line this up on your track of your paper trimmer. Just making sure that didn't move. Oh, I think it moved. Okay, that looks pretty good. So you're just going to cut that in half. And then on one of your 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 piece, you're going to score at a diagonal. So instead of cutting like we did the 2x2 square, we're gonna score it first. And then you're gonna cut, I don't know, I would say about half or maybe even 3/4 of the one side. So what I did on the description in my my inspirational sheet with the measurements, I lined this point up at 1, but you could also go to 1 1/4. Okay, so we're just gonna take this point over here and we're just gonna cut that one side off. So you should be left with approximately a 1/2 inch side of your flap. This is gonna make your pop-up piece, and you wanna fold both sides when you're folding over that diagonal score line. So make sure you do your bone folder on both sides so you get that nice crisp fold for the pop-up piece. Okay, and then you're going to take one of your pieces of your basic white, the 2.5 by 2.5, and we're also going to cut this at a diagonal. So you're going to have 2 pieces, but we're only going to use 1. Okay, so you can keep this for the other card you make. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put our designer paper. This you could use, since I used like this design on this side, I'm going to use a totally different design. So I'm just going to put these 2 pieces up into the corner of my card here. Right there. This pink is so pretty. And you'd think it would look like the magenta color that we have, but oh my gosh, or even the Flirty Flamingo, and it's totally different. I really like it. All right, so then we're going to take our 2 3/4 square and our 2.5 piece of the basic white. We're going to put those 2 together. Okay, now this piece is going to sit between those, that 2x2 square that we cut at a diagonal. You're just going to put this point right here, and you're just going to adhere it down to the base of the card. So just set that right there. Okay, then we're going to take our flap. Remember, this is the basic white piece that we cut. Now this is going to layer right over top of this one side at a diagonal. So now we're going to put this 1/2 inch score line over here so you can tell where we cut it. You're going to put this right up against that center score line right here, and you're going to fold over this piece, and you're going to attach it when you fold it over. But we're going to add our glue first. So we're going to go ahead and put our liquid glue on this edge right over here. You're going to lay it flat with the glue side up and just butt that right up against that score line, and then fold that card over and adhere that down so that flap or that pop-up piece gets adhered to that section where it's supposed to go. Okay, and then that's where that's going to sit. And then we're going to stamp on this piece before we actually put it onto that flap. Now we're going to go ahead and put our 2 other squares together with our basic white. Okay, so we got our squares on for the front panel right here. So on the very first score line, this is where we're going to put our 2 squares. Okay, so now you can put the point to point right onto that score line, but I like to move it over just a smidge. So we're just going to flip this over and just imagine an imaginary line right down the center, and you're going to put the liquid glue only on 1/2 of it. Okay, and the half with the glue is going to go on the half with the front of the fold of our pop-up card. So I just moved it over slightly. Okay, so then this piece is going to not be glued down. And then we're going to do the exact same thing with the other square. Okay, so then when the card's folded, it should look like that. All right, now it's just a matter of decorating, and we're going to do some stamping. So let me grab my Memento ink. So glad it's your birthday onto this section right here, this large square, right up at the top. And then we're going to stamp You're Amazing on this panel here. Now, before you stamp it, you want to make sure that you're stamping it the right way. Okay, so you don't want to stamp it on this side because then it's not going to fit. Okay, so just pay particular notice on how you're stamping that. And this is just going to be stamped right in the center. You're amazing. So cute. So now let me grab my liquid glue again. Now we can set this onto that flap for the center pop-up of the card. Put this right over here. So cute. Okay. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put our fence onto our back piece right back here. And I went ahead and popped the fence up on the mini dimensionals. We're just going to put our fence right over here. I don't want this to get hung up on the fence, so when it's closed, it slides. Do you see that? I'm looking at this part right here. I don't want it to get hung up on the fence. So when you're putting your fence on, kind of move it over to the right-hand side. And then this little sheep here is jumping over, so I definitely want him over here. And then this one is looking like it's going to be holding the balloon. So I'm going to put this little sheep down here. And then this one is going to be at the top. And then I also put a mini dimensional on the back side of the balloon. And we're just going to slide the balloon like he's holding on to it, or she's holding on to it. And that's it! Isn't it cute? Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. So there's the card, and let me show you what it looks like when it sits up. Here, so when it sits up like this, this is what it looks like. Isn't it cute? Oh. Now this is the polished pink. Let me show you the other ones really quick. Okay, so here's the fresh freesia. So cute. And then here's the pale papaya. Adorable. And then here's the other two. This is the Halloween version, and then the penguins. So adorable. Okay, so that's it. Aren't they cute? If you have any questions, please let me know. That's what I'm here for. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you liked today's video, give me a thumbs up. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.